morning, everybody. My name is Brandon Reed. I am here at the 29th AIDA World Championships here in beautiful Roatan, Honduras. We are here to kick off day one of our live coverage of this event with women's constant weight bifins. We have an awesome event lined up for you guys. Lots of amazing divers coming up. The conditions today are absolutely beautiful. We have roughly 25 meters of visibility. There is no current. A little bit of movement on the surface, but very, very easy, very gentle. Nice breeze coming through, which is nice for me, who's going to be sitting in the sun all day. And yeah, absolutely lovely. Around 28, 29 degrees water. 82, 83 for you Fahrenheit people. Let's see. For those who don't know, yes, here. Suppose we can start with the start list. We have a variety of divers coming up today, a few national records, one world record attempt by Mariana Gillespie of France. And we should see some pretty awesome dives. Some of these national records are also continental records. We have Natalie Rudman, who is going for a continental record for Africa, and Enchante Gallardo of the US also going for a continental record for North America. Cool. All right, so as we begin, we are here watching Youngju Lee of Korea. She has announced 70 meters. And for those that don't know how this discipline works and how all freediving for depth works, is a diver the previous night announces the depth that they're going to attempt. So last night, Youngju said she was going to do a 70-meter dive. And then this morning, the safety team, all of the organizers, set the line to 70 meters. She is able to go to that depth, nothing more. And
2 minutes to official top.
And then she comes right back again. A diver is allowed to do an early turn where they do not hit the bottom. If they do that, that is considered a yellow card, which means they completed the dive. There were no any major issues with the procedures, with any of the rules following. They just didn't complete the announced performance that they set for themselves. A red card would be something where they're disqualified for some reason. Either they do not start after the official top, or they have a hypoxic event like a blackout, or their airways dip below the surface, or they request help from a safety and the safety touches them and brings them back up to the surface. But hopefully today we'll be seeing all white cards. White card meaning the dive was completed successfully, there were no issues, and the diver reached the bottom. Youngju was with us in Burgas, Bulgaria, a couple of months ago at the AIDA World Championship. Where she did 184 meters dynamic bifins, so swimming back and forth in the pool with using bifins. 168 meters dynamic, so using a monofin. 5 minutes static, but unfortunately it was a red card for that.
10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, official top, +1, 2.
You can see that she has a dive computer attached to the back of her neck weight. This is because divers have their own alarms that they like to set for their dives. Divers are given an official dive computer for the dive, as we can see on, I believe, her left wrist. It's the official dive computer given to her by the judges. But she's not allowed to attach any, or she's not allowed to set any dive alarms on that, but she's allowed to set them on her own. And divers will attach the dive computer to the back of their neck because it's closer to their head, so they can hear the dive alarms more easily.
30, down, 3, 0. We don't have countries.
Okay. We can see that she's also covering her lips with her fingers.
40, 40
She's
down.
taken something called a mouth fill, which is a technique where divers will move air from their lungs up into their oral cavity to then use for equalization
50 down.
as they go deeper and deeper.
1 minute.
I'll go into a little bit more about that and why that's important later on. But one of the things that you can do actually at home right now is you can
60
pinch your
down.
nose, and you can also fill as much air as you can into your cheeks, putting your fingers over your lips. Then what you can do is you can
Touchdown.
remove your fingers, and if you've taken a
Coming
full
out.
mouth fill, the air should escape a little bit out through your lips. Basically, putting your fingers over your lips allows you to hold a little bit more air into your mouth for your mouth fill, which means you can equalize deeper and deeper without issues.
140. 50 up.
She's on her way up. You can see she grabbed a tag.
40 up. 30 up. Diver with safety.
Here we can see our first safety with Youngju. Our safety divers will meet our athletes in the top 1/3 of their dive, generally at around 30 meters. As we go deeper and deeper, we will start to see a scooter diver go down as well, and meet our divers at around 40 meters. Okay, she's up. Looking nice and fresh. Beautiful dive, easy looking dive. She has the tag. So divers need to do a few things upon reaching the surface. They need to remove all of their facial equipment. They need to give an okay sign and say, "I'm okay." So it's a white card for Youngju Lee of Korea. Very nicely done, and a great way to start off the competition. It's important to note that her previous competition personal best was 65 meters, and so by completing the 70-meter dive, she has a new competition PB, which is absolutely fantastic to her. Congratulations. And a beautiful start to the comp. Okay, we're taking a quick look here at the entire dive setup. On the left-hand side, you can see where our divers are actually competing. We have Chantal Steiner up next. Off to the right-hand side, sort of in the middle, was the dry area. And then beyond that was the warm-up area. Okay, again, we're looking at our start list. We have a lovely selection of divers diving today. Very much looking forward to seeing everything going on. Here we have our safety team in the water. Safety team is being led by good old Chris. Hopefully we'll have him come by a little bit later to do a brief interview and talk. Chantal Steiner up next with her coach Abdelatif Al-Wash, also of France. Last time I saw them was in Dahab. They were there teaching a course. I believe that was in October or November of 2021. Something that we'll notice across this competition is the amount of variety each diver sort of demonstrates in how they dive. We'll see some divers, on the surface doing their relaxation phase right before a dive. Some divers will have their faces in the water with their snorkel in their mouth. Other divers, like we saw with Youngju, will sit up on a pool noodle and will be just holding onto the line, breathing like that. Other divers we'll see later on will be laying on their backs with something behind their neck to support them, usually one of the floaty airline pillows. And then as we continue watching the event, we will see different varieties and styles in finning, in free fall, returning to the surface, all of that good stuff. Thanks, Dominic. I will definitely pass on the feedback, and it will be awesome to see you be diving later on, I believe tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Divers are allowed 5 minutes, well they are given 5 minutes to do their relaxation phase, what's sometimes called their breathe up, before their official top is reached. Once official top is reached, they are allowed to begin their dive, and they have up to 30 seconds after official top to begin their dive. If you leave early, that is a penalty, so you'll be given a yellow card. If everything else goes okay, you'll be given a yellow card and a penalty for that. I believe we're looking at Natalie Rudman on the dry area getting ready for her dive.
In 2 minutes here. It's only for 80 meters or more.
In this time, divers will do a variety of things to sort of try and stay relaxed. Some divers find that this time can be a little maybe nerve-wracking, or for me personally, when I dive, I find that the 5 minutes is way too long to just sit and breathe. So divers will find things to sort of do to preoccupy their minds. Some divers will do visualizations of their own dives. They're about to do, visualizing everything perfectly and cleanly and nicely. Other divers will see themselves with their family and their friends, and sort of try and allow that feeling of love and support to wash over them. Others still just try and clear their mind. That's something that I like to do. I just like to try and clear my mind, keep it totally blank, and just wait for the timer to tick down so I can actually just do the thing.
30 seconds.
Bartosz, good to see you. It's been a while.
20.
Please do show your support for all of our athletes in the live chat on YouTube. Spam the flags, spam the love. Like I always say, a lot of the divers will look back at the live stream and will be reviewing their dives, reviewing their techniques, and it's always lovely to see all of their friends, family, and supporters in the chat showing their love.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay. Her snorkel is out, and here she goes. Let's take a little bit of time to look at Chantal's technique. With bifins, as we can see, a diver is using 2 fins, so not the monofin that we're so used to seeing. What we want to see is movement beginning in the hips, with a slight bend in the knee, ankles straight, hopefully the fins not rubbing against each other,
30, down.
and arms either at the sides or above the head.
40, down.
Okay, we can see her cheeks are puffed out. You can see her making some adjustments there. Maybe a little
50,
off to the
down.
side. One of the things that we want to try and see, and when we're free falling, try and do is keep ourselves nice and straight. Sort of like if you think of
60, down.
sticking your hand out the window of a car. If you can sort of feel when your hand is facing up or facing down a little bit. But if it's nice and straight, the air just easily moves over it. It's the same thing with diving. If you are out of position, either facing up a little bit or facing down a little bit, you can sort of get
60,
pulled out of
up.
position, and the rest of your body will move around with it. The other thing to be said too is that
50, up.
each diver is different, and so some divers will sacrifice a bit of efficiency for more relaxation.
40, up.
Okay, coming up,
30,
again being met by our
with
safety diver. Nice technique here. At 20 meters now. Arms are in a more streamlined position above the head. That allows the diver to cut through the water a bit more efficiently. But what needs to happen then is that a diver needs to actually hold that position, which adds a bit of stress on the muscles. And especially as we get deeper and deeper, we'll find that it's a very fine balance between conserving oxygen and relaxation. Chantal is up. She got the tag. Now we're just waiting for the judge's call. White card there for Chantal. Beautiful, easy dive. Very nicely done. You can see one of the safeties coming up and taking the official dive computer off of Chantal. They will use that to track the final depth and dive times and all of that good stuff. Okay.
Okay, going down two, 72.
Beautiful. Off in the background we can see the warm-up area. So divers will be dropped off at that boat off in the background. They get all their dive gear on. They jump in the water, do any warm-ups that they want to do on those buoys. The deepest depth is set at 40 meters. Some divers will do hangs, other divers will do a few FRC or what's called functional residual capacity dives, which we'll go over a bit later. It's a bit more of an advanced technique. Do their warm-ups, then they come to the platform on the left-hand side of the screen, and they wait to go. Don't mind me reporting all of the bots in the chat. All that good stuff. And then again, off to this side, we see the actual dive area. Up next on the schedule, it says that Fatima Korok of Hungary is diving, although I don't believe she will be starting today. I know she's been dealing with a bit of a outer ear infection, and so she's taking some time to rest and relax. A diver is allowed to announce and then not show up on the day. It's totally within their rights to just be like, actually, today I'm not really feeling diving, don't really want to, so I'm not going to. And it's always better to announce something and then not show up than to not announce something and then the day of feel like, actually, oh, I'm totally fine. Oh, I could have done my dive today. Oh, that really sucks. So for any of you guys who are out there thinking of doing competitions in the future, always announce something, and then if you don't feel like doing it, you don't have to. For those that are in the chat, if you guys have any questions that you want to have answered, anything about the dive conditions, anything about the divers themselves, I am here to speak and talk basically all day, and because Fatima is not starting, we are not officially going, oh hello, we are not officially going for another 15 minutes. So, any questions you guys might have, please do feel free to post them in the YouTube chat. I am watching on my phone, or you can send me a message on Instagram at BrandonFreediver, which is a good segue for me to say, make sure you're following AIDA Freediving on Instagram. We'll be posting all of the dive results there. Any behind the scenes stuff I'll be posting on my own Instagram account. And any questions you guys have, we can answer them. Easier for me to answer them if you send either to the live chat or to my Instagram account, again at BrandonFreediver. Yeah. Man, it's a beautiful day. Okay, one of the things that we can talk about is our safety precautions that we're taking with this event and really all dive events. This is the emergency evacuation boat that if there's any sort of medical emergency where a diver's care needs to be escalated from simple support on the surface by our safeties to something more intense, divers will first go to the medical staff that are situated here on the dive platform. They will then, if necessary, be transported to the boat for immediate evac. On the platform itself, we have oxygen. We have pretty much everything that you would need to support a diver. And that's how we like it. We want to make sure our divers are as safe as possible. So all they have to do is show up and do their dives, and not have to worry about anything else. Cool. Jinwoo, thank you. That is very nice of you to say. I've been I've been told that I have a nice voice. That's very kind of you to say. My goodness, what are we looking at here? Who is that? That is our resident goofball, Rob. Actually, he's been kind enough to let me use his sunglasses for the day because I, for some reason, did not think ahead and didn't bring a hat or sunglasses. And since I'm here stuck in the sun, it definitely helps. So shout out to Rob for the use of sunglasses. Let's see. Bartosz, good to see you, Brandon. Hope to dive with you in the cold Chicago waters. Look, I live in Cape Town, South Africa, and I'm pretty used to diving in water that is 14 degrees Celsius up to 20, which I know a lot of places is not that cold. But I dive in a 5 mil wetsuit, and I really struggle with the cold water. I've been extended many invitations by the Finnish team to come up to Finland and do some under ice diving and then jumping into saunas, which I'm super here for that. That would be tons of fun. But man, if I recall correctly, Chicago waters are also super cloudy and really bad viz. You'll have to correct me if I'm wrong. But that said, I would love to come dive in Chicago. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which is about an hour and a half north of Chicago. And I do visit on occasion, so it'd be nice to, while I'm there, swing by and say hey. Richard de Groot asks, will you compete, Brandon, in this competition? I will not. I competed at another competition that I was doing commentary during, and while it was fun, it was definitely a lot of extra stress that I did not need. So from here on out, if I'm going to compete, I will compete at an event where I am not also working. Yeah, lessons learned. Let's see, what kind of training and preparation did the safety divers undergo before the competition? That's a really good question. A lot of the safeties have experience working here in Roatan. And then a lot of them have also worked with Chris and Savas. Savas being one of our judges here today. Have worked with them pretty tirelessly over the last few days to make sure that their evacuation setup is all good to go. They've been drilling on each other, practicing rescuing each other, doing rescue breaths, all that sort of stuff. So they're very well prepared. And we've also double and triple checked all of the safety setup as well. We have our counterballast system ready to go, and all of that. So a lot of work has gone into the prep for this event, and again, with safety being a top priority, we've definitely hammered that really, really hard.
8 minutes.
Let's see. Wasim asks, is there a minimal maximal depth to be announced by the divers, or can anyone announce 20 or 150? You can announce anything you would like, as long as it is no more than 5 meters more than your personal best. So, with my personal best being 67 meters, I could announce up to 72 meters. If I had a personal best of 130, I could announce 135. In this location, there is no max depth, and if a diver wanted to announce a 1 meter dive, they could do that as well. So there is no min or max for the depth that is available to us, but a diver has to announce can announce no more than 5 meters more than their personal best. Let's see. Hola, Tomas. Hello from Nicaragua. No cold water here. Up to 29 C and 150 meters deep. Oh, that sounds amazing. Okay, let's see. What approaches does AIDA have to make the best athletes compete in future world championships and not some random choice of athletes? I don't necessarily know what you mean by that question, Daniel. In terms of marketing and advertising, these events, we love to see divers of all varieties coming. Because it is a World Championship event, we do get a large number of the world's best divers coming. But I also know of a lot of divers who this is their first time and this is their first comp, and they're just coming to hang out, have a good time, and get some white cards. So ultimately, everyone comes to a competition for a different reason. Some come to compete and set national and world records. Others just come to have fun. And it's completely up to them to decide how they want to approach the competition and how they want to dive. Let's see. Oh, hi Teresa. It's good to hear from you, and thank you so much. Let's see. Greetings from Belgrade. Oh, hey, how's it going? Good to see you, Joel. Let's see. Watching from Bali. Thank you. Yeah, why don't you guys spam in the chat where you guys are watching from. That'd be awesome to know where everybody is. Let's see. Hello, person friend, being watching. Can a diver increase the request more if, for example, 50 meters announced but can record 5 above to 70?
5 minutes.
Yes. So, if, for example, a diver said that their PB was 50 meters, they announced 55, then the next day they were doing the same discipline, they could announce 60 the next day. Now with an event like this, where divers have one chance to do the discipline, because as we know, today is constant weight bifins for women, tomorrow will be constant weight bifins for men, the next day will be free immersion for women. So divers only have one opportunity to do the one discipline. So an event like this, you can't really do that where you announce the same discipline again and again and again. Unlike with Vertical Blue or with other smaller competitions, that is something that you can do. So for example, when I was in Sharm el-Sheikh in November, I did that. I started by announcing I believe a 40-meter dive, then I jumped up to 50 because my personal best was 67 at the time. So I announced I went from 40 to 50, then I went 55, 60, finished off the comp with the 65-meter dive. But if you were pushing personal bests, you definitely could. It's just not advisable because you want to be always diving within your limits. You always want to be doing a slow and gradual approach to freediving. And if you don't, that's generally how you hurt yourself, and that's what makes the sport very unsafe. Fatima's here in the chat. Yes, decided not to start, never risking an injury. Yeah, we have a long comp ahead of us. Don't want to hurt ourselves on the first day. And thank you all for your love and support, Fatima. We'll see you later tonight. Hey Mohammed, good to see you. Watching from Yemen. Oh, Amr, hey, how's it going? Good to see you. Looking forward to seeing you somewhere in the water, whenever that may be. Okay, and we're all caught up on the questions, which takes us right to 3 minutes before official top. Perfect. Thank you guys so much for all of that. Cool. So up next, we have Natalie Rudman of South Africa. She's announced a 72-meter dive. The previous national record, current national record, is held by Talia Davidoff, also of South Africa. Obviously, otherwise it wouldn't be a national record. Who recently just set that record at Vertical Blue last week.
2 minutes to official top.
So we will see how things go. 72 meters by fins is Natalie's personal best. So this will be a personal record, or a personal best dive for her. She's a 15-time national record holder, but doesn't currently hold them, again, because Talia just came through at Vertical Blue and just blasted a lot of them.
130.
Which she is known to do. She's been living here in Roatan since lockdown began, which, so like, what, 2.5 years, 3 years? And there's a really awesome crew here that works and trains all the time. And again, like we said, limited depth here, very close to shore, and yeah, conditions are absolutely stunning. If you ever get a chance, you should definitely come to Roatan to come dive. It's a beautiful place. There's so many amazing things to see and do, and the diving is absolutely world class.
Seconds.
Recently we were chatting about the next time she's going to be back in South Africa, and we were both talking about how we're going to head to Sodwana Bay. Sodwana Bay is one of the beautiful areas up on the east coast, sort of north on the border, where there's tons of large marine animals, beautiful coral, the water is nice and warm, crystal clear.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And it's an absolutely beautiful place. Okay, diver is down. So we can see Natalie's arms are above her head, which is different from Chantal. As we said before, this is a more streamlined position.
20, down.
And definitely helps to cut through that positive buoyancy at the surface You can now see she's brought her arms down
30 seconds.
and is opting for a more relaxed position, arms sort of out at her sides.
40, down.
And now entering free fall.
45 seconds.
See a bend in her knees. Legs are a little separated.
50, down.
But again, as we've said before, every diver is different in how they want to dive. Some divers will prioritize keeping everything nice and tight, and other divers will prioritize releasing all of their muscles and
60,
relaxing
down.
and just letting the time sort of tick and go.
115.
You can see very small movements in her mouth. She is
Touchdown.
equalizing.
It's coming up.
Beautiful turn at the bottom, grabbing a tag and on her way back up.
130. 60, up.
Moving once again to a streamlined position. Divers at the bottom will often not immediately move into a streamlined
50,
position
up.
for the reason that at that depth, our lungs have basically compacted to the size of, basically if you're sitting right now and you blow all the air out of your lungs as hard as you can, and then you hold for a second, that's what it feels like
30.
at
Diver with safety.
basically after 40 meters. If you move too quickly, you can actually cause a either lung or throat squeeze, which is basically an injury, a pressure-related injury, where the soft tissue in the body is basically like getting a hickey on the inside of your lungs, where the blood is brought up to the surface. Very easy dive. Looking nice and comfy. Nice and fresh. Big smile on her face. All right, so that is a new continental record for Africa. 72 meters, set by Natalie Rudman. Congratulations.
Next set, 78, stand by. 78, stand by.
So that'll be a PB cake for Natalie tonight, which we always love to see. For those that don't know, every time you get a new personal best, you get to have cake. And I will always say that a competition PB is different from a non-competition PB, and a World Championship PB is different from a competition PB. There's a lot of extra pressure and a lot of sort of extra things going on to think about at World Championship events, and so I'm all about the people, the divers, getting their cake when they've hit a PB of any kind. Let's see here. Boo, boo, boo. Charlotte Redder, congratulations on your first deep dive. Glad to have you and hope you enjoy. If you have any questions, please do let me know. Let's see. Are there any drones shooting the event? There, if you include Dive Eye, that is an underwater drone, absolutely. But otherwise, no, there's no aerial footage today. Let's see, what are the conditions like? Conditions are stunning. 29 degrees Celsius water, so like 84, 85 degrees Fahrenheit. A little bit of movement on the surface, but nothing too intense. Gentle breeze coming, beautiful sunny, barely any clouds in the sky. 10 out of 10. Okay, here we can see the Yellow Boat. Yellow Boat is one of the taxis that's taking divers back and forth. Divers show up about an hour before they have to show up at the beach an hour before their dive to check in, and then every half an hour a boat is moving back and forth, shuttling divers either from the beach to the boat or from the boat to the beach. And so that's what we're looking at right now. Congratulations. Yeah, let's go. Okay. Very nice. Up next we have Yamila Slevenčíková of the Czech Republic. She has announced 78 meters. Her personal best in this discipline is 76 meters, so she's hopefully going to break her personal best here. We're very excited to see that happen. Started freediving in 2004.
3 minutes.
And I believe her last dive was her last competition was in Turkey. Offhand, I don't have her results from that, but I believe that's where we initially first met. Hussein, men's constant weight bifins is tomorrow. So today we're only doing women, tomorrow men, and then we'll be like that every single day. So women will go first, then men. And then the disciplines will go constant weight bifins, free immersion, constant weight no fins, and then finishing off with constant weight.
To official top.
2 minutes to official top. Off on the dry platform, we see Shaika getting ready. I believe also Enchante maybe over there. Important to note that the current world record for constant weight bifins is set at 93 meters by Jennifer Venland, who will be diving shortly. And again, if all goes well, we will see a new world record today set by Mariana Gillespie of France, pushing it a full 4 meters beyond what it currently is now. Hi Pavel, congrats on your 40 meters. That is fantastic. Don't quite know what you mean by what is your first accepted depth. For your first competition, you can announce what your personal best is. I mean, for your first competition, what I always tell friends and people who are starting out, who want to try and get into competitions, is that your first competition should just be to have fun. Having fun is the most important part of a competition, and you know, if you go in with too much pressure, too much expectation on yourself, if things don't go well, you can sort of end up burning the fun of competitions out for you. When, I mean, there's such an amazing opportunity and experience to spend, meet new people and all of that. And if you are only focusing on have to hit the depth, especially on your first competition, you're not going to have as much fun as you could. So I always suggest your first competition, go to a local one, have some fun, announce some easy dives, because it's very different from just doing a dive normally on your own. Okay, Yamila is off. Looking in a
20,
nice,
down.
nice compact position here.
30,
You
down.
can see her arms are sandwiching her head, squeezing her ears, and slightly back behind her
40,
ears as
down.
well. Okay. Moving to holding
50,
her
down.
nose clip.
45 seconds.
Could potentially have a bit of a leaky nose clip there, so shifting to that is always good. A lot of divers are using the nose clip to equalize
60,
against.
down.
So when you equalize, basically what you're
1
doing
minute.
is you are stopping the air from going out through your nose, and you are basically blowing. Essentially, that's the
70, down.
most basic of basic ways to explain equalizing.
115. Touchdown.
Okay, down grabbing the tag.
Coming out.
And divers will equalize against their nose clip so they don't have to hold their nose.
130.
That allows them to keep in a more streamlined position or a more relaxed position.
60, up.
Okay, perfect. And we'll go a bit more into equalization later on as we get deeper and deeper. Let me just give you guys a taste of what's going on.
50, up.
Hussein, yes I am.
Minutes.
Okay.
40, up.
There we can see our deep safety with the scooter. They are there to support a diver at deeper depths. In case there's any need to jump in and support the diver, they will come in, grab them around the arms,
30,
and
diver with
will
safety.
then support them, speeding back up to the surface. Still looking very nice and relaxed. Looking good. Divers are looking for any signs of hypoxia or any signs of what's called a LMC, or loss of motor control, oftentimes called a samba. Okay, just coming up. Very slow movements there. Oh, okay, so she's being supported by our safety team. You can see, back already. You can see what they were doing is basically just supporting her, keeping her airways out of the water, blowing across the face, and calling her name, telling her to breathe. When a diver has a LMC or a blackout, it's not like with boxing, for example, where it's a traumatic brain injury. What it is the body's response to low oxygen and an attempt to conserve oxygen for the brain and the important organs. And it does that by basically shutting down the consciousness and shutting everything down. And so that's why we see so quickly these divers coming back as soon as they come up to the surface, because basically the body is just sort of going to sleep, and as soon as it knows that we're back up in the air again, it will begin breathing all on its own. Sometimes we will find that a diver will black out a bit deeper, and it'll take a bit longer to recover. But in those instances, safeties are ready to jump in, provide rescue breaths. And again, as we said before, there's pure oxygen on the boat, and we have our evacuation plan ready to go in case the emergency gets escalated.
Set. Line is set.
Let's see. Question. Gaetano asks, is she allowed to touch the line while descending? She is allowed to touch the line. She is not allowed to pull on the line unless she is within the final few meters in that candy cane area at the bottom. In that candy cane area, you are allowed to pull around and do whatever you want. But anywhere outside of that, if you touch the line and you pull, that is a disqualification. And that is in every discipline except for free immersion, which the whole thing with free immersion, many-time national record holder, currently holds the records for all of the disciplines for women, 70 meters for constant weight bifins, which she's planning on breaking today with a national record attempt of 83 meters, 88 free immersion, 57 constant weight no fins, and 94 constant weight free immersion, constant weight, and no fins, all set during Vertical Blue last week. She won 2 silver medals during Vertical Blue. Is an absolute machine and such a lovely human being. I know she does a lot of work with the United Nations Development Program. And I believe she's a life below water advocate. And she is the face of the Zero Waste campaign in Turkey, and a WWF ambassador as well. So she's very engaged in conservation, saving the planet, all that good stuff. And is also a fantastic diver. Off to the side we see Enchante, and I believe that is Jennifer preparing for her dive as well.
2 minutes to official top.
Please do feel free to spam your support in the chat. I love to see it, the divers love to see it.
$130.
As I was saying before, each diver is different, and we can see Shaika doing her breathe up on the surface, laying on her back.
1 minute.
Resting and relaxing. Me too, Nicholas, hoping for a speedy recovery for Fatima. Fatima also recently came off of the Vertical Blue competition, where she took first place overall.
20.
Thank you, Hussein. Shahika Erjuman.
4, 3,
I've always struggled with pronunciation. I'm getting better, I will say that, but
2, 3,
it is definitely a struggle for me.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Again, divers have up to 30 seconds to begin their dive after official top. In this time, divers will oftentimes spend it packing. Packing is an advanced technique used by divers to add more air into their lungs, partially to add a bit more time to their breath hold, but more importantly to be able to take a mouthfill at a deeper depth and equalize deeper. As we said before, as a diver dives deeper, the airspace becomes more and more compressed. In the first 10 meters, the air in your lungs has already compressed half of what it was.
Down, 3-0.
And then as you go deeper and deeper, it goes to a third of what it was, then a quarter of what it was, and then a fifth of what it was
40,
as you
down.
go deeper and deeper. So what divers will do when they're equalizing is at around, depending on the athlete, between 20, 30, 40, or sorry, not 40, between 15, 20, 30, they will take a mouthfill, which is basically where they move air from their
60,
lungs
down.
up into their oral cavity and then close their glottis or their vocal folds and keep that air in their cheeks. And then what they'll do is they will basically use that, they'll squeeze their cheeks and then do normal Frenzel equalization using their tongue to pump that air up into their
80, down.
nasal cavity and then into their eustachian tubes, which will open, which will equalize the ears. And so the deeper you can take your mouth fill, the deeper they can actually use the air in their cheeks. Okay, coming up.
60, up. 150.
Looking like there's a big smile on her face there.
50, up. 2 minutes.
One of the amazing things about diving is that you feel so good doing it.
40, up.
It's an absolutely amazing experience for those who haven't tried it before. It's amazing to be
Diver with safety of 30 meters.
So alone and so just conscious of what your body is doing. It's a very surreal feeling.
Breathe. Look at the judge.
Big smile.
I'm okay.
Totally fine. Super easy dive. Should be an easy white card. New national record. Just waiting for the judge's decision. Standing around awkwardly waiting. And a white card. Absolutely beautiful dive from Shaika.
Next step is 88. We're going down 5. 88. 5 Stand by. 5 meters down. Stand by. Stand by. 2 more off. Let's go.
Okay, what brand of wetsuit do they use? Each diver is different. Each one has their own. Double K is one of the big brands, also one of our main sponsors here at this competition. A lot of divers are wearing Double K wetsuits. Fantastic wetsuits. Definitely recommend checking them out. Yeah, on the AIDA website you can see links to Double K and all of our other sponsors, Atmos, Mayan Princess. And Paradise Beach Resort, thank you, yes. Our main sponsors for the event, big shout out to them for all of their support. We could not be running this event without them. Okay.
5 minutes.
Up next, we have Enchante Gallardo of the US. 88-meter dive, continental and national record attempt. Currently holds the record at 85 meters and is also a record holder for free immersion set at 87 meters during vertical blue. Also has a national record for constant weight at 87 meters. Okay, as we're getting ready here, we can see Enchante on the line. Enchante is supported by her family, her 2 kids, Kaimani and Santi, living in Hawaii. I wanted to give special thanks to Double K, Octopus, and the U.S. Freediving Federation, and also Alchemy. All big supporters of the freediving community. I got to spend some time with her in Hawaii a couple months ago, and she is a machine. She is always working, she's always training. She is, when she's not diving, she is running, she's working out, she's surfing, hiking, and she rode her bike everywhere during Vertical Blue. Which is no easy feat. I know it's very hilly and that sort of stuff there.
Two minutes to official top.
Her favorite discipline is between bifins and free immersion. Lately it's been free immersion because it's a bit easier and she has more upper body strength, but definitely bounces between bifins and free immersion. And we'll get to see her fantastic technique coming up here just now. Kohei, the photographers are Carmelo and Luke. I will quickly find their Instagrams for you. They're in the water taking care of all of our athletes, providing us with excellent video.
1 minute.
Min Wang, the 15 meter plus will get fixed. That's not nothing at the moment.
Feel strength or anything, let me know. Okay? But
30 seconds.
Okay, so for Camilo, we have Camilo Diaz Photography on Instagram, and then Luke Cooley, C-O-L-E-Y, on Instagram for both of our photographers. And then later on today, I will also make a post, or I'll post something on my my Instagram for you all to be able to follow.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Official top.
All right, here we go.
4, 5,
88 meters,
6, 7,
hopefully a new continental record for North America. And here we go.
Representing USA. That amount is 88 meters. Dive time is 3.
If we take a look here, we notice that in the first 10 to 15 meters, all of our divers are kicking pretty rapidly and also with a strong amount of force behind the kicks. And then as we get down to deeper depths around 30 meters, we'll start to see them slowly begin reducing the number and also the intensity and the amplitude at which they're kicking. That's partially because the deeper we go, the more negatively buoyant we become, and so it becomes easier and easier for us to actually just sink. At around 40 meters, as we can see right now, yeah, she's entering her free fall. Beautiful free fall technique here. Nice little bend in the knees, but the fins in a nice streamlined position from the tips of them all the way to the back of her head.
Down.
We see the line gently in her armpit. A lot of divers will do that in order to not float away from the line. Other divers choose not to do that because it does add a small amount of friction onto the dives.
150.
But again, each diver is different, each one decides what's best for them, and if it provides a little bit of more mental comfort, then absolutely go for it.
130.
There you go, whoop.
Nice down.
So relaxed that she flew past the bottom stopper. I don't know where she puts her dive computer. I think she has her dive computer in the back of her head by her neck. But it can be very easy to miss dive alarms. Other divers don't set them. I don't know offhand what Enchante does, but I do know that it can definitely happen where you are just so relaxed, so in your free fall that you just cruise right past the bottom plate. Christian, so good to see you. Love you too. Wish you were here. Hope you're enjoying your time in Dahab.
50 up. 5-0.
We'll chat soon.
Okay. 40 up. Safety.
Something to note is that as divers continue their dives, a lot of lactic acid is being built up in their legs. Basically, it feels how you feel when you sprint and your legs are aching and you just can't go anymore and they feel heavy and thick and just you don't want to move. Our divers are feeling that, except they don't have a choice to stop and breathe. That lactic acid is built up because it is a byproduct of using of switching energy systems from oxygen to using other forms of fuel in the body. Beautiful. Nice clean surface protocol. Big smile on her face, making it look easy. Displaying the tag. Absolutely fantastic dive from Enchante Gallardo. So that is a new continental record for North America, new national record for the US, 88 meters. CR. Absolutely beautiful dive.
Okay, coming down. 90.
Okay, and we are heading down to 92 meters for Jennifer Venland, who is up next.
Checking line.
Cool.
Checking line.
As we can see, the results from today so far,
Confirmation.
all white cards except for Yamila. She was over here breathing
Line set.
right,
Line set.
right by where I am, the oxygen is. And so divers will come back here and they will breathe some pure oxygen just to recover more quickly to be ready for the next dives later in the week. And Yamila was over here. She was breathing normally, a little frustrated, but you know, to be expected, but definitely totally fine and recovered. Looking forward to seeing her back again in a few days during free immersion. Let's see. Deep Search Aquatics, on their sheets, they don't have if it's a national record or a continental record. They only have if it's a national record. I've done some extra research so I know if it's a continental record or not. Let's see. Francois. Yes, these dives are getting quite deep and quite long. And the other thing to consider too is that you're probably just sitting there in a chair or on a couch, and these divers are basically doing the equivalent of a walk or a slight jog for roughly 160 meters. So it really shows the just physical ability that these divers have trained for and have worked so hard for, and is why they're some of the best in the world. Komtanu, I agree.
3 minutes.
There we see. Oop. I believe that is Chris McCrae, preparing, getting ready. He is our head safety here. And then on the line we have Jennifer Venland, current world record holder. Depth set at 92 meters, or 93 meters for the current world record. Yeah, Jin Wu asks, what's the difference between constant weight and constant weight bifins? So with constant weight, you only use bifins. Or with constant weight, you can use either bifins or a monofin. With constant weight bifins, you only use bifins. It's a little confusing for those who are sort of new to the sport. For those who have been around for a long time, they know that constant weight bifins was very recently added as a actual discipline with records and all of that.
1:30.
Here we see Walid Boudiaf, who is coaching Shaika today. So with bifins, you just use bifins back and forth. With constant weight, you can either use a monofin or you can use a bifins and do the bifins discipline. Some divers will just choose to use bifins during a constant weight dive, and others prefer to use a monofin. You can use a monofin for a variety of reasons. They can be expensive, so some divers just don't have them. Others prefer the relaxation that comes from a bifins. It's a lot more, generally a bit more comfortable. But every diver is different. Everybody has their own Hello.
Hello, Brandon.
I'm joined by Shaika. There we go.
Hello. Hi, guys.
Hello. Cool. Congratulations on your dive.
Thank you very
It was
much.
such a beautiful dive. So lovely to watch. And
30
yeah, as
seconds.
they were saying, the turn at the bottom was just absolutely beautiful.
I felt really good, but since 3 months I'm not diving with bifins, so I was not
20.
sure
Okay.
what to announce. And I just want to, afterwards, Kubulu, take it easy and
Sure.
make a beautiful, easy dive.
I like that 86 meters in a new national record is taking it
Ten.
easy.
83.
83, yes.
But
yeah.
I will definitely go there.
Five.
too.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Four.
Absolutely.
3, 2,
Um,
1. Official
Cool.
stop.
Actually, I wanted to ask, do you practice your turns at the bottom, or
No.
no?
No.
So you just
When you feel so strong in the dive, you will do everything perfect.
Mm.
So in this dive, everything was beautiful and perfect. And I used to play underwater hockey, so
Yeah.
on the way up, I felt like I'm going for a score.
amazing. Oh, love that. Okay, cool. So we have
Jennifer.
Jennifer going down, current world record holder,
20 down.
She's a very strong athlete.
very strong athlete.
It's done.
30
You can see her
down.
tucking her thumbs into little bands around her legs. That is, I believe, to keep herself in a streamlined position.
Exactly. And so your hands,
40
arms
down.
are not moving around.
40.
Right, yeah, they're not out at the sides, sort of adding more drag. They're just nice and tucked in, and you're not having to actually hold them there.
Yeah, there's less effort.
Yes, exactly. And for deep dives like this, every single ounce of oxygen that you can conserve and every amount of relaxation you can get is...
It's all about little details actually in deep diving.
Exactly,
60
exactly.
down.
She's still doing little fins,
Yeah.
keeping up that speed.
Excellent.
Um,
I think, yeah, every certain, like every 10
70
meter maybe, she do
down.
a few kicks and then
Yeah.
glides.
Yeah, she has announced a very fast dive time of around 2 minutes and 50 seconds.
80
Maybe it's
down.
not that fast, but still wanting to keep up that speed and that pace is important.
Dive times are this year much
130,
faster than last year actually.
I think so, yeah.
Even mine.
Touchdown.
Yeah.
Coming up. 135.
Okay,
Right.
cool. Now the hard part. Coming back up.
Very frequent, very good rhythm.
Yeah, very nice
Up.
rhythm. Small amplitude, but very powerful still.
150. 70.
My
Up.
favorite part is sometimes dive eye goes to the face and you see all the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go, yeah.
60. Up. 2 minutes.
Yeah, very nice technique here.
50.
Really strong,
Still same rhythm.
still same rhythm. And again, the movement starting in the hips and sort of whipping down to the tips of the fins. First safety there.
30. Diver with safety.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
20.
And I think
Looking
she will
towards-
be on time, you know?
Yeah,
She's super fast.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, divers will announce a dive time, but it doesn't actually have any impact
Yeah.
on their overall scoring. It's more just so
Safety.
safeties know when to be sort of going down, what to be looking for. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Gave the okay sign.
Strong.
Such a strong diver.
Happy face.
Happy faces. Yeah, I don't see any reason why this wouldn't be a white card.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing.
Even we know it's gonna be white cars.
Even
still
if we
have
know
this hard
the
beat, you know?
anxiety, that
Yeah.
waiting, ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, judges have about a minute, up to a minute to basically say, give their result. And they're checking for stuff like making sure that the airways don't dip below the water, all of that kind of stuff.
First the light. First the light.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so we have one more dive, and then we have a quick camera break
Yeah.
for a little bit, and then we start up again roughly half an hour after that. But we have a world record attempt coming up
Yeah.
from Mariana Gillespie, a full 4 meters beyond what it's currently set at.
Yeah. It's AIDA World Record. let's
AIDA
say.
World Record, yes.
But
Keep it away. Hot guys, set the
girls
line.
are really strong this year. I think.
So strong.
Yeah, like in vertical blue, it was also women at least were really strong. So
Completely.
I'm very proud
Yes.
with the girls.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people that's like will still say that, men have more of the upper body strength and men can push deeper and better because they have more lung volume and all of that. But
I think we are mentally super strong and patient enough.
I mean,
so
yes, and I actually
in the long term, more sustainable.
completely, and I would also argue that none of that actually matters because each diver is moving their own body around. So each diver is different, and each diver is well equipped to handle their own stuff. And so I'm of the mindset that the field is level, and dare I say, the men are kind of being wimps about it. I'll probably get a lot of hate for that, but that is my own personal opinion.
I don't
Hi,
see.
Jennifer.
I don't see any difference, men and women sometimes.
Yes, give me a few minutes and then you can hop up. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't really see much. And especially as
4 minutes.
we sort of continue on, I can see
Yeah.
the records are already leveling out quite a bit.
Yeah. So I want to also say hi to everyone who
Please.
is watching us, because I know like I'm traveling a lot for freediving, and like from Bali, from Turkey, from Egypt, and like even in Bahamas right now our friends are watching us. So
Yeah.
first of all I want to say hello and thank you for watching and supporting us. And quick shout to my sponsors, because without them I couldn't be here, and it's just the first day, beginning of season, we have a long season, so thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you
For
so much for joining.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thanks again to all
Yeah.
sponsors.
Thank you so much. Bye
Cool.
bye guys.
All right, we'll see you in a little bit.
Yeah.
Cool. You're gonna come join us too, Jenny?
3 minutes.
We'll be joined momentarily by Jennifer Venland, who literally just finished her dive and is now gonna jump up and say hey. Let's see. Cool. Okay. Final diver for this first half is going to be Mariana Gillespie, representing France, 97 meters, world record attempt. Hello. Hey. So good to see you.
Good to see you.
Oh, first time seeing each other since,
A year.
yeah, a year.
Yeah.
Wow. How have you been?
Pretty fine, except for the last weeks.
Fair enough.
I came here with COVID, which was like,
No.
yeah, just came here 1 day training and that was it.
Okay.
And now I'm here to watch the most exciting dive of the day.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited to
Yeah.
see this.
She's super strong diver, so
Yeah.
if everything goes normal, she's gonna rock it.
I think so too. Yeah. I mean, conditions are fantastic today.
Yeah, they are.
I assume no movement down. I haven't seen anybody drifting on the line.
There's no current, no.
Amazing. Yeah.
It's perfect conditions. I didn't even see a jellyfish
Yeah.
or not even anything down there.
Yeah.
Just the dive eye. that
Just
we
the
can
dive
see.
eye, yeah. Just the dive eye going, and I mean, it's perfectly blue, perfectly clear all around. It's absolutely fantastic conditions. We see Mariana's coach, Christian Madame, supporting the entire French team here. We'll see a lot of him. We'll probably end up having him come say hi
He should.
at a few points. He's joined me quite a few times, especially in Cyprus last year, and he's a fantastic person to have. He's got so much.
1 minute.
I mean, he's been in the community for such a long time.
Yeah, he knows a lot about freediving. And
So
I
much.
think he's very good for the comments.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. What's it like diving to 92 meters?
It depends on the day,
Okay.
but today it was spectacular. I enjoyed it so much. Like every meter was like, okay, this is nice.
This is nice.
Keep
Still
going.
going. Good.
Yeah, I had like a tiny little bit of narcosis. Like
Okay.
30 seconds.
I feel it like a warm wave going through the body, and I'm like, okay, this is nice too. So, and I'm like, okay, just focus now on the exit.
Yeah.
Don't enjoy too much.
Don't
because-
enjoy too much.
Yeah, that can be a problem in the end to enjoy too much. To be honest, then you don't focus on the protocol and do something stupid.
Right.
So really, before you get up the last 2 meters, like, okay,
Okay.
now.
Now is time to focus.
Because the protocol is still part of the dive. So.
Exactly. Can you explain a little bit what narcosis is?
Well, it comes through the high pressure at depths, and so gases like nitrogen and CO2 are solved better in the blood and go to the brain, and that makes a narcosis effect. Like you put
You
people
basically get a little drunk, right?
yeah, that's a little bit what it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And either when you're in a good mood, you're happy with that. If you're in a bad mood, that can be really scary.
Sure.
So you have to like greet the narcosis with happiness.
Sure.
So let's check Mariana.
Yes.
It's going down.
Absolutely. Yeah, we were talking about your technique, and I mean, Mariana's technique is also absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful amplitude in the kicking.
yeah. She's a bit faster diver than I am. I think especially on the way up, she speeds up much more.
Okay.
But yeah, beautiful technique, good safe diver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's using fluid goggles.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's something that we haven't really talked about yet. Is some of the divers will use goggles that they basically put water into. Because if you don't put water into them, that's an airspace that needs to be equalized,
Yeah.
and your eyeballs can basically get
Well, they would be sucked into the goggles if you don't
Yeah.
put water inside. That would be very uncomfortable.
very uncomfortable. Yeah.
60.
So
down.
no, we use the fluid goggles for two
1
reasons.
minute.
One is that they have like the special lenses. You can still see clearly underwater. Like it's a little bit, the sizes are different.
70. Down.
But you can see clearly. And the second part is that if there is a thermal line, like which here is not,
Right.
but it helps you to protect a little bit the eyes, which are very sensitive to it, and that could make you swallow the mouth, for example.
Sure. Okay.
But here is not a problem. So
Yeah.
here I just like to see. I wear them as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
See, she's
Cool.
still
Another 10 meters, and then we'll be
super
at the bottom.
relaxed.
Yeah.
90.
So relaxed. Arms nice and tucked in.
Yeah.
Reaching.
140. Touchdown. Touchdown.
Nice
Coming
turn.
up.
Nice turn. Grabbing the tag.
Yeah. The
Already.
body language is still super relaxed.
So relaxed,
She's got it
yeah.
under control, I would assume.
Yeah.
150.
Definitely.
It's so nice that here it's not dark. Like you can see everything. It's like if she's still close to the surface.
Yeah. We can see she's got a little thing of Velcro attached to her wetsuit.
70. Up.
We'll see this quite a bit on the Constantway No Fins Day, where divers will they'll grab the tag, run their arms up along their legs,
Yeah.
attach the
Yeah.
tag, and then immediately go to a streamline and start to pull again.
Yeah. For me, it's just the nicest place to put it because when you
50.
have your arms down, it's directly there, so you don't
Right.
even have to do an extra movement to put the tag.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Meet the safety.
It's still
Okay.
going
Oh,
very
yeah.
strong. Yeah. The kicking is getting a little bit wider than before. so
Yeah.
probably it's a bit
But
harder
again,
now.
I mean,
We are used to that. That's what we train for. so-
exactly. And lactic acid is building up, but I mean, technique still looks quite good. She's not, sort of switching to more of a bicycle kick,
Yeah.
which is something that can definitely happen when you have that lactic acid buildup.
Yeah, and it can also be if you have a little bit of narcosis. I don't know if she does
Hmm.
get narcosis. I see very much in control.
Yeah, looking
Come on,
good.
Mariana. Breathe.
Oh, nice and strong. She does need to make sure that she continues breathing on the surface.
Yes.
Something that can happen is if you don't take good surface recovery,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah,
go
but
into
now she's
samba.
having a white card, I guess.
But yeah, no, she looks
Amazing.
totally fine.
Yeah.
Making it look so easy. Big smile.
Come on.
Wow, wow. And
This is the worst part, waiting for the white card.
waiting for the
Like,
white
come on,
card.
guys,
It's
do
the
it.
worst. We all know it's going to be a white
Yeah.
card. Just give me the white card.
Yeah, and she deserves it for this amazing dive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful dive.
Yeah, finally.
Okay, and a white card.
Congratulations.
So new world record set by Mariana Gillespie of France, 97 meters,
Yeah.
and absolutely beautiful, absolutely clean.
There's no discussion about this dive.
No discussion
it was
about
really,
that.
really good, and she deserves it. Like,
Absolutely.
Wow. Well done.
Yeah, absolutely well done.
Yeah.
Congratulations to her. Congratulations to all the divers so far. To you as well.
Thanks.
Beautiful dive.
Yeah.
Great, cool. So we're going to take a minute break. Our next diver will be starting at 11:30. Oh, there you go, that's us. With Mia of Chinese Taipei. And yeah, anything you want to say to the people?
Well, hello to my family, my husband, my friends. Thank you for being there for me. I appreciate the help you gave to me in the last weeks where I was so sick and didn't know if I could dive. So, and now I could. I'm so happy I could do this. Like after the COVID, it's amazing. So, thanks for all the support.
Amazing, cool. Yeah, we'll be back in roughly half an hour. Big shout out once again to our sponsors for the event, Mayan Princess. Actually, if we can show them up on the screen. Thanks to Mayan Princess, to Double K, to Atmos Watches, and Paradise. I believe it's Paradise Resorts.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I'll be better about that moving ahead. Cool. We'll see you guys in half an hour.